Kentucky Lake, one of the largest, most productive bass fisheries in America.
24 pounds.
It's on every recreational angler's bucket list of lakes to fish. To compete here at the professional level, anglers have to be prepared for long runs. And during the summertime, they need to be ready for some nasty weather.
Nice.
As the Walmart FLW Tour ended the regular season on Kentucky Lake, there was a mix of emotions and thoughts going through the competitors' minds.
I'm so nervous going into these that I run and hit stuff. I run crazy. I don't settle down and fish.
The whole lake has fish, but if you want to compete to maybe have a chance to win the tournament, you got to find that section in the lake where those bigger fish are biting.
I've been shaking all day. I don't know, it's going to be really close. I missed a couple fish today that would have really helped it and maybe sealed the deal.
Many questions were about to be answered. Who would figure out the ledges on this massive body of water?
That's the key. You just got to find them out on that ledge. The fish are in their summer patterns. You know, they're going to be from 15 to 30 feet deep.
Who would be crowned the Kellogg's Angler of the Year?
I got to catch one tomorrow, that's for sure. Big ones.
And who would qualify for the 2014 Forrest Wood Cup?
This is what we work for all year, is to make the Forrest Wood Cup. It's just it's the pinnacle of our sport, you know, to make that cup.
21 pounds even.
You know, to have a chance to win $500,000, that's what we're all in it for.
Brett Hite walks away Lake Okeechobee champion. To qualify for the Forrest Wood Cup, anglers gain points in each of the 6 regular season events. Only the top 38 in the point standings would be invited to participate in bass fishing's single largest payday. For the anglers near the 38th spot, the pressure was intense.
When you're coming into the last one, right there on the bubble qualifying for the Forrest Wood Cup, you want to go out there and you want to smash them.
Raw weight of 16.8.
Did the math last night, figured I needed at least 15, cut it close to make it to the cup. Fell way short, probably maybe got 12 at the most.
Tomorrow has a limited date. We're 12 pounds, 2 ounces.
After Hartwell, I mean, it was a battle, and I did good all the rest of the year up until this tournament, and it just sucks that one tournament knock you out.
For one man, just making the cup would feel like the biggest victory of all.
It's been an emotional roller coaster for me. This whole year has been, but especially this tournament. This is the last tournament, my last chance to qualify for the cup on my home lake.
Anthony Gagliardi started the season off with a DQ and didn't fish the season opener on Lake Okeechobee. His entire season was thrown into jeopardy, and he was faced with the biggest challenge of his career.
First thing that went through my head was, well, you know, there's my shot at making the cup. You know, I'm not going to, you know, it just went out the door before the season even started. You know, I knew it was mathematically possible, but honestly, I didn't think I'd make it.
In the end, Gagliardi was able to walk across the stage with just enough weight to secure his slot into the cup.
I'm really proud of myself, you know, for being able to overcome that, and really thankful for all the people that supported me, anglers and friends and family. And, you know, I don't know if it was in God's plan for me to win it, but he definitely wanted me to be there. And, you know, I'm gonna give it every shot I got.
19 pounds, 13 ounces.
Scott Canterbury also moved up the standings to qualify for his 6th cup appearance.
I was really blessed this week here on Kentucky Lake, and I caught a lot of fish, caught some good fish, and it propelled me into making the cup.
For Adrian Avina and Troy Morrow, the bites eluded them at Kentucky Lake, and they would be relegated to Lakeside Views in South Carolina.
And I knew I was behind the 8 ball, and I knew I needed to catch them on day 2. But you just want to go out there, you want to catch every bass you can. I lost one giant one, you know, that would have put me in that Forrest Wood Cup.
Another angler not going to the cup was Tom Reddington, but he didn't appear too bothered at that fact because he had the more pressing matter at hand, leading this tournament at the end of the 2nd day.
24 pounds, 13 ounces. You're the new leader. 46 pounds, 15 ounces.
You feel like a watched man when you're in the lead. You pull up in these places, but they're hunting you. There's a bunch of pretty skilled hunters. What's uncomfortable? It's a good position to be in, but you don't feel safe.
The top 20 here is a who's who list of Randy Haynes and Mark Rose and Christie and Scott Martin, a bunch of the top guys. And to be ahead of them after a couple days is great, but they're so close and this lake is so good. It feels good for a day, but it's anybody's ball game.
There's a tournament leader discount, like 20% off, right?
Oh yeah, if I make that money.
Well, at the end of the day, you have a whole lot of duties. You have to get ready for the next day, rig your tackle, clean everything up. But that's just more work, and you kind of in that focus mentality. Once you're finally done, you eat dinner, come back, that's when you really reorganize, say, okay, what did I do right today? What did I do wrong?
That's where the magic happens, man. Right here, everybody piles in. It stinks by the end of the week. We have baits in here. You have wet clothes like this. Everybody's been out in the sun all day.
I know it's going to get quiet in the cabin tonight, but just, you know, we don't have to talk about fishing much, because, you know, but I'll just say this. I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been fortunate enough to win a few of them. To go to bed with the lead's a little tough, my friend. Being in second's a way better place, I promise you.
Yeah.
I get to wake up tomorrow with a little objective to get it to take you down, so sleep tight.
Scott played a little trick, put a worm in my bed the other day. I took a power worm, the stinkiest of all worms, right here in his pillowcase. He slept 2 nights with it there.
Scott, you know, it's kind of funny. We room together, we share the stuff. His best bait, I can't catch him on. My best bait, he can't catch him on.
40 pounds basically, 20th.
Oh, I know.
I mean, you can't stumble at all.
30-pound sacks out there. There's really not a whole lot of pressure going into it because it's first day of the tournament's tomorrow, wide open.
But at the end of the day, you have to stick with your string, catch them the way you know how. All of a sudden you wake up, and then it's day 3 and you have 0 pounds again, and the pressure's back on. The bar is so high that 20 pounds here is just going to keep you treading water, probably dropping. 18 pounds, you're going to really drop. I mean, you have to go smash them every day. Go get them. The main thing I'm looking for out there is an open spot, something a boat has not been in for a while. And then once I get there, I can quickly see with my graph, either after a few casts, or if it's deeper, I'll graph it. I know instantly if the fish are there and I can catch them. There we go. Barely keeper if he is. Got him. A little better. There's always a window of opportunity, and right now we're just kind of waiting it out. We're just not seeing a lot of schools, starting to see a few more fish, and I think we're getting closer to it. Better one. There we go. A little better. A little more representative of Kentucky Lake, but not even close to what we need. Today was definitely a bit of a struggle. Weights were down. The thing is, recently 30-pound bags and bigger have come in. There's a huge potential. There was a 9-6 caught. There have been 10 and 11s caught. Still not seeing many fish on the graph. Haven't seen anything yet where we jumped up and thought we were going to whack them. Some schools break up if you guys are going to stumble, but you got to whack them. At the end of the day on this lake, you can't stumble into the wind. You have to really catch them.
5 today for Clint Davis Worth. 22 pounds, 14 ounces.
I've caught more fish under 2 pounds today.
21 pounds, 5 ounces.
Good slack, though.
17, maybe 18 if I'm lucky.
22 pounds and 11 ounces.
He started the day in the lead. Can he finish the day in the lead? Tom Reddington.
Looking for 17-11. 5, Worth. 18 pounds, 13 ounces, moves you to 65-12. You've got the lead by 1 pound and 2 ounces.
At the end of the season, you really want to do well. It's going to be a long time until our next tour event. There's nothing worse than doing poorly. That's why you're going to see a lot of big weights, because everybody's going for it. There's no pressure. Everybody wants to win, go out on a high note.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Straight Talk. Same phones, same networks, half the cost. Castrol. It's more than just oil, it's liquid engineering. Chevy. Brought to you by the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. Kellogg's. From great starts come great things. Mercury Marine. 75 years of marine excellence. And by Experience More at evinrude.com. 10 anglers made it to the 4th and final day of the Walmart FLW Tour on Kentucky Lake, and it was on this morning that Mother Nature decided to bring them some rain, which some saw as an opportunity.
Kind of overcast, storms rolling in. I'm hoping today is a repeated day too. They're active, so we'll chase after with some minnow baits, going for some bigger ones. If not, we're gonna grind them out. Got the lead, so we got a little bit of a cushion.
Paris Landing State Park is located on the southern end of the lake, which is an impoundment on the Tennessee River. The majority of the top 10 would head north towards the dam, stopping at ledges along the way that held the larger schools of bass.
Looks like we got a little bit of rain to run through. Got my goggles, so we'll be able to run wide open through it, no problem.
once I find them back in that channel, I usually get a school going, get them fired up, get 5 or 6 in a row real quick a lot of times.
There's so much wave action, rain out there. It seems like a lot of the main river stuff is blown out.
You just got to get the school fired up, and then after you figure out where they're kind of positioned, then you can catch them pretty good.
As messy as the weather was on the final day, the goal was clear for each of the 10 men fishing today. Take advantage of their shot at $100,000. All season long on the Walmart FLW Tour, anglers were hoping to be in contention for one of the sport's most coveted prizes, the Kellogg's Angler of the Year, which also brings a $100,000 payday along with it. And for almost the entire season, it was a battle between two men, West Coast finesse ace Cody Meyer and the defending Angler of the Year, Andy Morgan.
There's been some really, really good anglers come off the West Coast. I mean, some of the best in the world. And I think Cody is definitely right up there, if not a step ahead.
I gave Andy Morgan the nickname the GOAT, stands for the greatest of all time. And if you know Andy, that's what he is. That guy catches them every day, everywhere. Just an amazing fisherman and a really nice guy. And it's been really fun this year trying to battle him and have a chance at Angler of the Year.
If ever there was a season when two men would end up sharing the title, then 2014 was it. The points racked up by Cody at the first 5 events would have put him out in front of the pack any other year. But Andy Morgan seemed to push himself harder because of Cody, and coming into Kentucky Lake, he held a slim lead of just 8 points.
Yeah, this is going to be a little shootout, and has been all year.
That guy is so consistent, so good, that if he's not in the top 10, he's going to be right around it every single tournament, it seems like. So it's really hard to beat someone like that when they're always up there on the top.
The conservative plan's not going to work with somebody like Cody that's that close to you, because he's not going to play conservative because he thinks I'm not going to play conservative. So he's going to go for the throat. So in turn, I have to go for the throat.
The epic battle continued into the weekend as both anglers made the top 20 cut at Kentucky Lake, and Cody brought a heavy stringer to the scales. Second in the Angler of the Year points race coming in this event, Cody Meyer.
5 bass limit today, worth 18 pounds, 12 ounces.
Morgan needed at least 16 pounds to go back-to-back on winning one of the sport's greatest titles.
5 today, worth 16 pounds and 12 ounces.
On behalf of Kellogg's and FLW, we want to present Andy Morgan with his second consecutive Angler of the Year title. Congratulations, Andy.
I would rub up against him and hope I'd rub a little luck off, but when you do it 2 years in a row, it's not luck. Congratulations. You bet. Thank you.
Me and Cody were just neck and neck all year long, and I want my hats off to Cody Meyer. I mean, that was an absolute battle, and thank him very much for pushing me and pushing everybody out here. We all try hard, and you know, I just ended up edging him out just by a few points. I think it was a 9-point swing, and it was not over until the last second. I was really, really hoping. I hated to wish anybody luck on Cody, but man, I really don't want you to make that top 20 cut.
There you go, 2 years in a row. Livingston Lures Pro Andy Morgan walks away your Kellogg's Angler of the Year. Angler of the Year was probably the farthest thing from Tom Reddington's mind. The Texas pro considers Kentucky Lake to be one of the best tournament lakes in the country, but he never said it was the easiest to figure out.
If they're eating, they're easy to catch. It's one after another. When they're not, you just kind of grind away. You catch one here, one there. Hope to catch a nice one. Really, you're killing time until they decide to eat. First bite of the morning. Ah, hit it again. Got one. Little one. There we go. All right, switched up to a jig. And sure enough, she ate it. In classic Kentucky Lake, you gotta hop it. I call it stroking or just pop it off the bottom, pop it off the bottom, pop it off the bottom. There she got it. Yeah, tried to swim off with it, didn't she?
That 27, 30-pound bag, that's what I need. Just everything to click, nothing go wrong, no fish to get off. That's been a big deal for me this week, is fish getting off. Ah, came off.
Randy Haynes was having about as bad a day out on the water as one person could have during a tournament, and was getting a little frustrated.
That fits about the rest of the day.
His reel fell apart, and so he began hand lining the fish in. But even that move went south as the fish came off right at the boat.
I'm telling you, lightning liable strike this boat. You might need to get out.
While Haynes was left to figure out how to put his reel and his day back together, Jim Moynihan was waiting to experience the kind of success he was known for on this body of water.
Definitely am not having the same type of action that I've been used to the first 3 days. By now I would have had like 3 or 4 fish by now. Kentucky Lake's in the summer mode, summer patterns. So a lot of the fish are set up on main lake, drop-offs and ledges, they call them around here. There's one right there. I've been using swim baits, jigs, and crankbaits. That's been my 3 primary choices of baits. Jeez. This is really hard. Trying to keep the boat off the spot in these big waves. Not really big, but big enough. And I got to net this thing by myself. He was almost in the trolling motor propeller. There he is, number 1. That's about a 4-pounder.
Right, that's what we're looking for.
Oh, it's a big one. We had one bite.
Oh, there's the one just followed it up right there. Another one a little bit bigger than this. That's a non-keeper.
The last day of the Walmart FLW Tour on Kentucky Lake, and depending on where you were on the lake, your experience with the weather and the bass was decidedly different. The schools of big bass that roamed the ledges in summertime weren't as active as most would have hoped for, and that meant it was time to make moves.
Yeah, it looks like you're standing out there in the middle of the lake when you're ledge fishing. Actually, it's really intense. You have to stay precisely lined up. If you literally get 5 or 10 feet off to the side with your boat, your bait is coming at a different angle. If you drift just a little bit, you're not going to catch them. So the current, if you imagine, it's coming deep, and then all of a sudden it comes up this wall. It's like it's got to come up a hill, and it just piles up there and boils. And this is all shallow, going way out to my left and shallow to the right. And they sit at the front of the wall, the bass do, and the shad, anytime they come up on the edge of this flat is when they eat. You have a wind blowing one direction, you have the current pushing the other. It is so hard to keep that boat perfectly lined up. And that's why a lot of the old school guys triangulate. They use a tall tree or a pole on the shoreline to get lined up. You have to be precise. There's a big fish. No. Got a mark on it. It's probably one we culled out yesterday over here. Catch fish on this, like this, most lakes. They call you the winner. On Kentucky Lake, call you last place. We got to upgrade.
The area that Jim Moynihan focused on this entire event was at the northern end of the lake by Moore's Resort, and almost 45 miles from Paris, Tennessee by boat. But for 5 good bites, Jim was happy to make the run.
There's good ones here. First day I saw one that was like 6 pounds or so. He chased up, I was reeling my jig up really fast, and he chased it up, and that was a really big one. And then in practice, I saw a good one here too. There he is. Oh, he hit it good. Oh, it's a nice one too. Oh. I freaking hate netting these things by myself. Oh, and then the lure just pops right out. Oh, that was the worst net job ever. Whew, that's what I'm looking for. It's like 4 plus.
That's not gonna do it. Yesterday I started my day out by throwing, I probably wasn't quite 15 inches, but yesterday I threw my first 5 keepers out of the boat because they were only 15, 16-inch fish. So I got a lot of confidence in the spot to give me some good fish. There's a lot of 2 and 3 pound fish here. There's some giants mixed in between. Fish. Oh yeah, that's the right kind. That is the right kind. All right. That'll help. I mean, this is fun. This is flat out fun. When you get them out here like this and stack up, and you're getting 40, 50 fish a day, it's fun.
When you get on a roll in bass fishing, it often continues for several events. Rookie pro Jason Lambert was on a big roll over the last 2 events of the season, which led to good things happening for him.
I want to congratulate you, and I'll give you this trophy as the Rookie of the Year.
It's very humbling being Rookie of the Year. There's a lot of guys out here, you know, they've caught them good all year too, and it's something to be proud of. It's something that's a title that'll be there from now on. I mean, for 2014, I was a Rookie of the Year, so yeah, I'm very proud about it.
After the applause died down, Lambert was back on the water trying to concentrate his efforts on firing up the school of bass on the final day.
Man, I'm having a hard time making these suckers bite. There's enough right here to win. And just get them to fire up and eat. That's been the challenge the last 2 or 3 days, though, is getting the school going. It's the same thing. Pull up and catch 1 or 2 or 3, and they don't want to be like Kentucky Lake usually is. 3-pounder. I'll get them stirred up and mash them. Man, I've got water in my ears, in my nose. It has not stopped raining all day. Come on, sunshine. God, looks like it might be lightening up back there. I wish the wind would lay. The wind just makes it almost impossible to fish.
Really, if the wind wasn't blowing, I'd just run around like a madman all day until I saw the right school out here. Unfortunately, with the wind like it is, I kind of just have to sit on decent spots, hope that it happens. Not the way you want to do it, but you have to fish the conditions.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Rough weather made moving around on Kentucky Lake tough early on the final day. But under any condition, Paris, Tennessee is a dream destination for recreational fishermen. People come here to fall in love with the amazing fishing and plentiful bass schooled up on Kentucky and Barkley Lake. And as one of the centers of the bass fishing world, it's the perfect place for Evinrude to unveil their new engine, the E-Tech G2.
Very, very impressive.
It's so different than anything I've ever experienced.
Really quiet, it's got tons of torque. I like the new foot control.
I love the way the motor looks. The whole shot blew me away.
That's a hot motor.
Both FLW Tour pros and regular fun fishermen couldn't get enough of the new Evinrude E-Tech G2 that was available for test rides all week.
That's unbelievable.
The most noticeable thing to me is just the power and the advantage it's going to give me on the water every day doing my job.
Getting on plane, the response on the foot throttle, you mash the foot pedal down, I mean, not even a halfway quarter throttle, and it's up on plane going.
It's been since the Fast Strike, since anything has had that much torque, and actually it's got more torque than anything I've ever driven.
It's almost like driving what I would consider a race boat compared to a normal bass boat that we've been running for years. I mean, it's a game changer for us.
Evinrude pro Brett Height started the tournament with a huge stringer over 24 pounds, but so far his final day has been slow.
Yeah, those fish just haven't moved up yet. The schools just kind of broke up. That bait hadn't come in there. They haven't got active and been pushing the bait up there. This is a front-facing kind of a current point. It's got a bunch of rocks on it. There's usually not a giant school here, but there's been some real big ones. Just plucking away on it, no big ones today yet.
Good one. It's gonna be a good one, like a 4 to 5 pounder. There we go. That one. Not quite 4 pounds. Oh, maybe a 4-pounder. Got a good belly on it. These big fish are holding in one little spot. The last few I've caught have been in one little area out there. I've got a good lineup on how to hit it with my cast. And I've been hitting it, and fish have been hitting me. They're hitting the jig in here a lot better than they were yesterday. I caught my first 2 good ones in a swim bait, and the last 3, you know, have all been on the jig. There he is. That's a good one. Oh gosh, he's pulling hard. Oh my God, come on. You stay on there. I need this one, like, so bad. Oh yeah. Yes, baby. Oh, look at that chunk. Yeah, that's a 5-pounder. Nice.
Jim Moynihan's tried and true bait is the football head jig, and he's won a lot of money throwing it. But the buzz at this event was about a new bait being thrown by a few of the top 10, and it was catching fish and catching everyone's attention.
Fishing on Kentucky Lake, all of these bass up here eat huge, giant gizzard shad, like, you know, 8-inch long shad, the big bass do. And you know, the schools you're fishing here are anywhere from a 30-fish school to a 1,000-fish school. And so what you have to do on these lakes is, you know, throw the biggest baits possible in order to get those bigger bites.
In this tournament, I've been using a new prototype spoon. It's been the key for me. It's brand new. The fish hadn't seen it until this tournament. This big spoon we've been using, it's 8 inches long, 3.5 ounces, and it's something new.
About 10 minutes at a time is all this spoon you can handle. You can imagine taking a pair of tennis shoes off and tying one of them to the end of a 7-tooth frog rod and throwing it, and that's what this thing's like.
The Mega Spoon may be heavy, but it catches fish, and Jason Lambert has capitalized on it all week. But to be effective, the school needs to be fired up, and for now, he was throwing a soft shad.
Giant, big one. Oh. He must have hit it running away from me or something, because he sure felt like it was a great big one. But right now, 3-pounders is a giant.
There he is. Oh, there's weight there, buddy.
That's not a little one there.
It's on! We're 1 fish away. 5 or 6-pounder could make it real interesting.
This is a blast. I'm having fun. This is a blast.
There's nothing quite like fishing a fired-up school on Kentucky Lake. And as the weather stabilized and improved through mid-morning and into the afternoon, so did the hopes of getting a win on this famous fishery. Snickers pro Jim Moynihan had a great morning and jumped to the top of the leaderboard. But weights are close, and anyone has a shot at pulling up to the right school and making it happen, including Day 3 leader Tom Reddington.
Kentucky Lake is definitely the best tournament lake in the country right now, at least for summertime offshore fishing. You go back in there, there's hundreds of acres in each of these creeks. They're full of brush. They flood in the springtime. Some areas have grass. They put in Florida bass, and it's really booming. All those fish that are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fish that spawn back in a creek will typically go to 1, 2, or 3, maybe 3 bars or points, ditches, somewhere out in front of it. So you get all those fish that are spread out in a few square miles, all of a sudden put them in an area the size of your living room. Boy, your lure has a pretty good odds of catching something. Big bites are so important. 2-pounders just aren't going to do it, but
Throwing big power baits, swim baits, and big jigs and stuff is what catch the big ones. You gotta sift through the little ones, I guess, and sooner or later hope a big one grabs it.
Come on, biggin. All we want is a chance. Just give me a shot.
Things were picking up for Brett Height. He knew he had the fish in this area to win the tournament with.
I've been using this hair jig to sometimes get them fired up. Really, I mean, aggressively hopping it. A lot of time it'll get a reaction strike that just looks like a big shad dying. And it's a good way to get the school fired up too. It seems to sometimes get those bigger fish going. Just ripping it off the bottom, letting it go back. That's a big one. Get in the net. Woo! That's what we're after right there. I ain't gonna put that shit down. Big girls.
I need a monster. I mean, I need like super gorilla.
Jim Moynihan was starting to get nervous. After his quick morning bite, he wasn't finding much action and started working on a backup plan.
Really haven't caught a good upgrade for a couple hours. A few small ones. Maybe it's time I just give up on this spot and try some others. What I got's gonna keep me in the top 5, but I'm not gonna win with what I got. Don't think he's gonna do it. That might be my smallest one right there. No doubt about it.
While Jim's bite was slowing, Tennessee River expert Randy Haynes was turning around his day in a big way with the help of the Mega Spoon. He was firing up big schools, and at this time, he was landing the bites and racking up the weight fast.
I'm going to fish everything. I mean, if there's fish been on it 5 years ago, I'm going to fish it. I mean, I like finding that new fresh scoop. One is just moved out, nobody's messed with, just green fish.
Man, they're down there. I'm just tensed up waiting on that freaking rod to load up.
Jason Lambert was starting to revisit some key spots, hoping to find some big bites. His limit was already over 20 pounds, but the rookie pro could see the potential for more.
We're sitting right on the edge of the river channel. The boat's at about 20 feet of water. We're actually throwing off the current, coming down with the current. And I'm just slow rolling this jerky jade, you know, right on the break line. These fish have actually slid out off the drop. They've been up on the top in 16, 17. They're actually hanging right on the break now in about 20. Biggin'. Oh, dude, I think this is a toad. Yes! Boys, that right there could be a $125,000 fish.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Find, Navigate, Dominate with Lowrance. Motor Guide, introducing the new XI5 and Pinpoint GPS. Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Plano, protect your passion. George Foreman, lose the fat, not the taste. And by Walmart, save money, live better.
Dude, that's freaking huge. Freaking hit me and I missed. And I just killed it and dropped it right straight back down. Hit it on the fall. Another one like that, we'd have a story to tell.
Jason Lambert got the kicker that he was looking for and felt he had a chance at the title. But he wasn't the only angler to have one game-changing bite.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, that's a giant. Yes! That is it right there. That is a fish. Wow. How about that?
Skip Johnson never gave up on his spot all 4 days, and in the final hours, it was proving to be that the right move was to not move. Snickers pro Jim Moyna boxed 20 pounds early and just needed one of those grown ones to hit his jig. Brett Height was fishing the southern end of the lake, gaining confidence as well as gaining on the leader. Tom Reddington knew he couldn't afford to slip up on the final day, but unfortunately, his big bites were not to be found. While offshore ledge master Randy Haynes was charging through the schools, quickly adding weight in the afternoon. And with an hour to go, Jason Lambert was holding a lead and looking to seal the deal.
Man, it'd be sweet to get the trifecta this weekend. Rookie of the Year, Cup, and a win. That'd be a good weekend. I've got a really good bag. I know what this lake's capable of too, so. The Rayovac, I came into the last day leading and caught the best stringer I caught all week and lost. So that's what this lake's capable of doing. One more solid coil could be big. That might be it, if I can get him in. Oh, it's a big one. Oh! Now it's getting serious.
Should I stay? Should I go? Never leave biting fish to find them, they say, but if you're not winning fish, you have to leave. So, to answer my own question, I have no idea.
Tom Reddington was able to hold the lead for 2 days working on this school of fish, but was having a difficult time all day. He had resorted to downsizing his tackle to see if that's what the fish were looking to eat.
On this lake, you don't want to go ultra finesse. The water's not really, on a cloudy day like this, it's not clear enough where you really need to downsize. When you get around these big fish, you definitely need the gear to be able to handle them still, so you can get away with the bait casting gear. There we go, good one. Big fish. Really had to slow that down. It was more of a erratic retrieve. Earlier in the week, they just chased this bait down. Right there, I was kind of slow lifting, really slow rolling, pause, stop and go. Finally smoked it. Dang it. Ah, come on. Whew. That's the worst net job of all time right there.
That's her. That's her. Stay down.
That's a collar. It ain't a monster, but it is a collar. That puts me at 20 or a little better.
It was a productive day for Clint Davis between his big swim bait and the Mega Spoon. He and Randy Haynes were both getting themselves fired up at every keeper landed, and Haynes would be satisfied with nothing less than a win.
For me, fishing the Tennessee River this time of year, it's about winning. Coming in second, I might as well be boat 170. That guy, Ricky Bobbitt says, if you ain't first, you last. I mean, that's the way I look at the Tennessee River this time of year.
All right, last cast.
Last cast, we gotta go.
Fishing often comes down to one moment, and it can happen on the last cast. Tom Reddington and Jason Lambert were looking for that last cast magic, but on this day, it happened to Skip Johnson.
Well, with just a few minutes left, I was thinking I've got about 21 pounds and I really need to stretch the time limit down, but I wanted to give myself some extra time and I was really debating. And I told my cameraman we got 1 minute left and I stretched it out a few more minutes. I looked at him, I said, okay, last cast, and fired one last cast off with a jig, and I got that one big bite. I set the hook, and all I could think was, I think I just did it.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah! That's a ball game. That's a ball game. That goes in the big side. That's a 5. Last cast, I upgraded by probably 2 pounds.
£18, 7 ounces, 18 pounds, 12 ounces, 21 pounds, and 8 ounces moves Clint Davis to first place.
While plenty of solid limits were on hand on stage at the final day of competition, Randy Haynes had a limit that was exceptional.
There we go, a 5 bass limit, 22 pounds and 9 ounces for Randy Haynes. You got him.
And then Jim Moyna outdid Haynes, and the crowd could sense the drama wasn't over.
23 pounds and 2 ounces moves Jim Moyna to 86 pounds, 13 ounces. Shake hands with Randy Haynes, the new king of the hill.
His second top 10 in a row from Pickwick Dam, Tennessee. Y'all give it up for Ranger Pro, Jason Lambert. Lambert, the newly crowned Rookie of the Year, was chasing after another title as well and feeling it.
You have number 5?
I do have number 5.
Is it a kicker?
It's a pretty good one.
Let's see it. 5 bass limit for Jason Lambert. Wow! Looking for 22 pounds, 3 ounces. 22 pounds, 14 ounces. You got him.
Making his first cut and first top 10 on the FLW Tour. You guys welcome from Goodell's, Michigan, Smart Arm Pro, Skip Johnson. Skip Johnson worked one spot and one spot only all week. And on the final day, it delivered big time.
Number 4 is a good one. Can only imagine what number 5 is going to look like if you've got that limit fish. A 5 bass limit for Skip Johnson, the Michigan Pro. I'm going to tell you, you're going to need every ounce of him. You're looking for 22.14. Your limit worth 24 pounds even. You're the new leader, Skip Johnson. Getting it done on day 4. Shake hands with Jason Lambert.
How you feeling right now? You want us to shut the weighing down and stop right now and go ahead and crown you champion?
Bring them on. I got this. I told you yesterday I got this. I got it.
We've eliminated every pro in this thing with the exception of 2, and that is Skip Johnson and Tom Reddington.
Skip Johnson felt he had enough as his final competitor crossed the stage, and his instincts were right on, just as they had been all week, as Reddington couldn't match the weights he had brought in the first 2 days.
To dethrone Skip Johnson of Michigan, you need 22 pounds and 13 ounces. 5 today for Tom Reddington, worth 18 pounds even. Your champion is Skip Johnson of Michigan. Wow!
100 grand. First place prize for Skip Johnson, his first top 10, and he walks away in first place.
You know, I found the spot at 9 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning. I parked my boat within a mile of that for the next 3 days, and I just wanted to see who found it, who had it. Just kind of guarded a little bit, tried my best to see if I belonged there, if somebody else already had it or not. Nobody really found it. I fished clean today. I didn't lose anything, and it really came together for me. It was a real fun day. It was a fun week. I can't believe the fishery that's down here in Kentucky. This is awesome.
This is your first top 10 on the tour, Skip. This doesn't typically happen.
No, I knew I should be here, though. I really did. I knew I could come out here and do this, and I did it. I proved I could first year in. So really good day. Really good day.
A last cast shocker propels one rookie pro over another, and the legend of what can happen on Kentucky Lake continues to grow. To get the most comprehensive coverage of the Walmart FLW Tour, including details about the lures and patterns used by the top 10, just go to FLWOutdoors.com.